Okay, so first up, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping we have to do, which is always what we always do, which is the shout out to DiviNation Academy. If you've never taken any any classes with DiviNation Academy, just make sure go check us out on the Facebook page, check us out on YouTube. It's really easy. Just search DiviNation Academy. I'm not going to throw the link up right now, but if somebody else can, that'd be great. I have too many other pages open right now. And then a little bit about me just before we jump into this. So I'm gonna big disclaimer, everybody, I am a solitary practitioner. This is everything that I have learned has been through years of study through on my own and through teachers that I have learned. So if this doesn't vibe with you, totally fine. I get it. It may feel similar to other moon ceremonies you've done. It also may feel a little bit differently. I have a lot of invocations, a lot of prayers, a lot of spells in there for you. I wrote every single one of them, so they all have like my own personal energy and my own personal touch. You won't find them anywhere else. So that's something to like kind of just be aware of with that. Like it's not going to be something like you've studied and like, oh, this is what I've been taught what to do. A lot of it's a framework that's really basic, and I'll run over that and then we'll go through and we'll do kind of like how I do it. This is a very condensed version of what I typically do. Most of my ceremony is done outside. Most of it is done outside, out in my yard, connecting specifically with the earth and the moon itself. I also do an entire salt circle around my entire property when I'm calling in the directions. So when we're going through that, that is something that I'm typically doing when I'm calling in directions that will be a little bit different. If you do ever have any questions about that, feel free to ask me. Um, and then what I'll do, like I said, is I'll run through kind of like what a new moon, like the basics are, what a new moon is, what that energy can do for you. And then what it's like being in a new moon of Virgo, because that's a specific energy all on its own. Um, I did send out the study guide, and then I'll go over a little bit of the correspondence. We'll run through and we'll do the ceremony. I'll call in the space, I'll create the container. I'll call in the moon, I'll call down the moon, I'll do our invocation that we have for the new moon as well. And then I will run through how to do a healing jar spell because Virgo is all about your body. And it's all about health and organization and serving others. And it's a very big energy when it comes to that. So, like I said, we'll go over the basics. So with the new moon energy, I sent, like I said, I sent this out to you guys before. So the new moon is a time to reflect. So it's a time to look in, it's a time for new beginnings, it's a time to set intentions, it's a time to start new projects. So that reflects in obviously the moon starting over in its cycle. New moon, new beginnings, super easy to remember it that way. Um, and then a big part of that is it's not just putting the intentions out there. You are also going to need to put in the work and the energy afterwards. So it's not just throw it out there and then it's done. You do need to harness that energy and continue to work with that energy throughout the rest of that lunar cycle. Um, every intention set requires that action from your part as well. And then the new moon is there to support you in your manifesting. Like that's the huge thing with the new moon. It's all about manifesting. You can do some releasing, but it's a little bit more of like letting go of past and shadow work when it comes to releasing like that. This is more for bringing in specifically what you want and like goal setting for manifestation. The new moon is also a time to allow new ideas to come to you, new energy to flow through you. So if there's something that's really been like peeking at you and kind of like behind your subconscious, like, I might want to do that, but I'm not really sure. Like the new moon energy is where you can really sit into it, really dig your heels in and start moving forward with that energy and that momentum that's getting there for you. Like that's super, super crucial with that. Manifestation lists really help with that part. Um, it's a time to honor your new beginnings and a turning over of a new cycle. The best way that I like to look at these is you look at these intentions as seeds that you're planting. So, like, even when I'm setting my intentions, I am specifically actually imagining each one as a seed that's being wrapped around the words of what I'm saying so that I can plant that intention very specifically with that energy, especially when I'm calling down the moon and especially when I'm calling in the directions and the quarters. So really look at that as like a seed, a very, very intentional seed. And you use this time to also rest and reflect while you're planting that seed because it's not going to grow if you're completely depleted of energy. Like your seed, your intentions, your manifestation, they're not going to go if you don't do any self-care and if you don't reflect on that part of it as well. Um, let's see. So that's pretty much all that there is with the new moon. Does anybody have any questions about like the basic part of just the new moon energy? It's pretty easy. Okay, so the next part of it that I'll run through quick is the new moon in Virgo. So Virgos are all about dedication and service to others. They kind of get a bad rap, and the energy gets a little bit of a bad rap, but they really like it's a very, very dedicated energy to others. They're very critical. That energy is still critical. I'm not gonna say that that's not there, but it's the way to harness that critical energy in a very detailed way to help you move forward with your organization, with your goals, with your task, focusing on your health. It's really looking at what are the habits that I currently have in my life? How are they serving me? How can I change them? Or do they even need to be changed? So that's a really big thing with that Virgo energy, is really holding on to that and manifesting into that with that. It's focusing on like refining your practices, being really critical on like, is this really effective? If it's not effective, why is it there? Also being super productive with your goals. So Virgos are very like with that Virgo energy, it's a very, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. I want to do, I want to do, I want to do, I want to do. I was feeling this days beforehand. I'm sure probably a lot of you were feeling it like probably last week already. But it's very much like it's gonna push you to accomplish your goals, that energy when you really harness that and hang on to that. It is going to also ask you to look at how you can serve others at the highest possible level for your authentic self and your soul's purpose. So it's going to look at how are you serving others in your life? How are you showing up for others? And how is the strongest way that you can do that? Um, that is really going to pull it out when you do the shadow work with the new moon, with the new part of this moon. That is where you're going to really be able to harness that and look at that. When it comes to the Virgo energy, it's in the earth sign, so it's going to help you feel really grounded. It's going to help you feel very down to earth, very connected. It's also very like material kind of feeling sign. And by material, I mean like the physical realm. So material as in like your body. So that's where it's going to focus on like the health part, the health aspect. You're going to want to like focus a lot of times. I personally I always end up starting a diet in Virgo season. Never lasts very long because then Thanksgiving's around the corner. But I always get that feel that I really need to focus on like my health and my energy. So that's going to be a big thing that you're going to feel. And also focus on abundance and money because that's a material possession. That's part of the physical plane. So that's something that that Virgo energy is going to kind of really push for that goals and that productivity as well when you harness that around the moon. It's also a very interpersonal sign. It helps you be able to share with others because you want to be able to improve their life and you want to be able to serve them. So that's something that's going to come out in a lot of like that energy is going to want you to be able to reach out to those in your life to feel like how you can serve them, to be able to actually communicate with them in an effective way as well, because that Virgo energy is also very heavy in Mercury. And as we know, Mercury, all about communication. Um, let's see. A lot of things, what I would really, really focus on in here, and like the big key questions that I really focus on with this energy are what are your self-care practices? What do they look like? How can they be changed? How can they be refined? Are they really serving me to my highest purpose to where I can serve others? How do you feel called to assist and serve others? Really focus on your habits and your routines in your life. Like if you feel like you're really chaotic with structure and schedule, now is going to be a time where you're going to be able to really harness that energy of the moon to sit down and actually be able to write that schedule out, write out how you're going to do things, write out how your plans and your goals are going to go. Um, what your that looks really cool. Definitely distracted me for a minute, but it looks really cool. You're muted, by the way. But so a lot of the correspondence that go with the Virgo energy and that Virgo moon, putting in the work, like I said, health, balances between your emotion, your intellect, because as we get down further, like into the deities, Virgo can be tied to a lot of deities that have to do with harvest and duality and things like that, especially Persephone. That is a huge goddess tied to her. Plants that you can work with that work really well with them. I personally really like to work with fennel a lot when it comes to the Virgo season. It's got that very like harvesty feel. Rosemary and poppy and chrysanthemum as well. It's associated with the earth element. You'll be feeling a lot with your your root and throat chakra. A lot of like energies that you're also going to feel attached to it if you kind of like are going to be the Capricorn and the Taurus energy as well. Some crystals that you'd really like to use to harness that energy. I've got two right here that I absolutely love to use with the Virgo moon, lapis lazuli and smoky quartz. They're attached to Virgo, plus also personally for myself, and just a little tidbit, Hades and Persephone. These are their stones, and this is their time of year. This is when they get to actually get reunited. So that's a big reason why these stones resonate really well at this time of year. My altar's covered with them right now. It's associated with autumn and harvest. The symbol is going to be the maiden and the virgin. Also tidbit to also help you kind of look at that Virgo energy in a little bit of different light. Virgin didn't actually necessarily right away in the beginning mean originally a woman who had never had sex. It just meant a woman who owned herself and was without a man. So that's why that like helping harness that too with that feminine with the Virgo moon and the Virgo energy and like that dedication there as well. A lot of rituals for this. One that a lot of people don't, I think, miss is doing a really deep cleansing and cleaning of your home. Because it's like a second spring cleaning. We're coming into another equinox, and that Virgo energy is all about cleaning, being productivity, like the cleansing, the purification. So that's a big thing that you can do. A huge thing that I like to use is sweeping out the past. So I take an actual physical broom and I use a very intentional purpose, sweeping out the past literally out of my home. To get it out from that season, to get it out while we're going to be turning into that next point, that next turning point, that next season, that next lunar cycle. A lot of spells that'll be used for this one are going to be focused more towards career, improving your health, decision making, personal development, organization, things like that. I have some mantras on there that you guys can look at. I don't think I'll go over them right now. And then a lot of rituals to make sure that you're doing alone. This is not just for Virgo, but this is for like new moons in general, is doing moon water, making sure you're collecting new moon water. One thing that I think a lot of people really forget about is that it's not just one day. You get 3 days. You get the peak of the moon, you get the day before, and you get the day after. So really like harness all 3 of those days. I have felt a massive difference throughout the years when I really truly was very intentional about that and focusing on that, because you get all of that energy, because it's going to be different depending on where you are actually in the world as well. That's going to affect that and how much of it you get. Cleaning and cleansing your home, like I said, doing like a second spring cleaning, a salt bath. I absolutely love doing salt baths with new moons. You get to be able to cleanse, purify, harness that energy. Sitting in sacred space, sitting in a container. Everybody has different words for it. And then shadow work. Shadow work is fabulous for the new moon. It's the dark moon. A lot of people call it the dark moon. So it's tied to that, especially with this Virgo moon Persephone. Harnessing that Persephone energy for shadow work is absolutely amazing. She will guide you through the depths of the underworld with you. And she will bring you back. She's very awesome with harnessing the shadow work during this time for duality as well with that Virgo energy. And then creating manifestation lists. I do it every new moon, every single time, every new moon, no matter what, even if they don't change, just because you're resetting that intention with that lunar cycle changing. Okay. So do we have any questions before I have everybody kind of start to drop in, get into sacred space, whatever you guys call it?
1 second here.
There is a question for you in the chat, just to let you know.
I definitely did not pay attention to that. I will let me look.
I swear my computer hates me.
If my computer wants to cooperate, of course it's not going to.
Okay, so anyone who doesn't have it, I just now put the Word document for the new moon in Virgo, so you can go back and study this on your own.
Let me see.
So, because I know Andrea was asking what are the crystal names again, so that Word document will take you straight to
Fabulous.
it.
Thank you for putting that in there. Is that the only question that was in there that I see? I think so. Okay.
Yes, that was the only one. Oh, it looks like there's a new one. Oh, maybe not. They might have said. They said, I think they accidentally sent it as a direct message. It says, what shape work prompts would be good for this moon cycle? And where to look some up. And it was from Kayla.
Oh, for like the
shadow work. What
prompts.
shadow work?
Shadow work.
Shadow work
Like,
prompts.
shape work prompts. What is shape work? I need to learn something new now.
I know. I wondered the same thing.
Shadow work prompts. I can definitely get you some. I didn't include any. Huh. Okay, I will get you some. That I will get some tonight. I work overnights, so that will be in there tonight. I definitely have a full list though.
Robin, is it possible you can put it in a PDF form for that new moon in Virgo, please?
I don't know how to do that. I just copied that. I just downloaded it from the chat. I don't even know what chat I stole it from. One of the Facebook chats. The Dark Goddess devotional
tonight too, Andrea. Like if it's not opening for you, I can convert it to a PDF later tonight. And I'm gonna put it on the website too.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody?
How come my moon only gets 2 days and everyone else's moon gets 3 for the new moon? I don't blame you. I'm just being passive aggressive.
It's the same for the full moon too. It's 3 days, day before, of, and after.
For some reason, the Aquarius new moon in February only gets 2 days. It gets the 8th and the 9th, and the new moon is on the 9th.
I'm gonna guess that has to do with the fact that it's February.
Probably.
The month doesn't have as many days.
Because Aries gets 3 days.
But I don't know the answer to that, so I'm not gonna speak on that like I know it, and I might have to look that up and see if I can find an answer to that. I will look that up.
I have a whole bunch of weird, and by weird I mean apps that help me study better.
Okay, so what I'm gonna have everybody do is just take a couple minutes, whatever you need, however everybody does it, getting into sacred space, dropping in. Everybody calls it something different, but settling into kind of like a meditative kind of space, a calm space. Excuse me. Because what I'll do is first I'll start with calling in the 4 corners and the directions. If nobody's experienced that, it is a little bit of a longer one. So you just kind of have to go with it. It's a lot of energy too, so you'll feel it kind of when it starts. And then from there, like I said, I'll call down the moon. We'll do our invocation and our prayer, and then we will head out for the night because I think I covered everything. Yes. Okay, so I will give everybody a couple minutes. When people are ready, you can put a thumbs up or type in the chat to let me know.
Kalsee, I think you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Am I still good to go? Okay. I call to the spirits and guides of each person in this circle. Come closer, encircle and surround us with love, protection, wisdom, connection. This evening, as we gather to celebrate the newness of this moon, may it never lose its magic for us or our kind. And to the gatekeepers of the four directions, thank you for turning your gaze towards us this evening. We honor your sacred presence and thank you for your guardianship. I call to the direction of the east, element of air, quicksilver and invisible winds. I call to you, air, to light and dawn, the rising of the sun, and the pale peach hue of the sky as it receives its first ray of morning sunset. I invoke air and movement in my life, exquisite flow of energy. Teach me, air, to move with ease, to be within and without, and above and below. I rise and allow all around me as the winds shift and move. I honor my breath. I honor the life force within me and within you. Guardians and gatekeepers of the element of air, I see you, I summon you, you are here, holding the eastern gateway tonight. I call to the direction of the south, element of fire, candle flame and wildfire. To fire, to dry heat and desert wind, the sacred land of our ancestors, and native herbs that grow wild and free, and wildfires that burn untamed, like the passion of lovers who know the power of one touch. Teach me, fire, to kindle my flame, to burn bright and burn long, not bound by convention or boundaries or rules. I burn, and all around me, as the flame grows, I learn the power of fearless expansion. I honor the fire within. I honor the courage of my wild spirit and yours within. Guardians and gatekeepers of the element fire, I see you. I summon you. You are here holding the southern gateway tonight. I call to the direction of the west, element of water, raging river and deepest ocean. I call to you, few water, and to the waves that rise above me and the depths that could crash me. You compose me, water. I am you. I am the rivers and the oceans that expand and connect us tonight. They connect the mothers to us and their children to them, feeding, nourishing, bathing, cleansing, and birthing the cycles of life. Teach me, water, to move with the tide, to swim gracefully against the tides when needed, not bound by desire to seek land or shelter. I float, I swim, and all around me as the waves rise, I learn the power of my intuition, and I see that my entire being knows how to surrender. I know how to cry when the release is needed. I honor my deepest emotions and yours. Guardians and gatekeepers of the element of water, I see you. I summon you. You are holding the western gateway tonight. A call to the direction of the north, element of earth, Mother Gaia, continents and oceans moving into a sacred silent dance. I call to you, Virgo, to the earth, to your trees, and to your wilderness, your animals, and your creatures of all kind. Expansions and uncharted spaces, wild and free places, where all of the elements find their home. All of the places where I have lived and died, my ancestors and their bones, give to return to you, as well as one day will my own. Dust in life and death and growth, you hold us all. Teach me, earth, to expand my feelings, to work this life with grace and with depth, not bound by fear of my own strength. I ground, I bury, I root all around me. As I age and as I learn, I trust that my roots are deep enough in the ground to support the expansion of my branches and of my fruit. I see that I'm capable of holding more than I think. I stand my ground and I know to send down deep into you the things I cannot hold. Guardians and galaxies of the elements of the earth, I see you, I summon you, you are here, holding the northern gateway tonight. So mote it be, amen, aho. So before we go into the next part with the goddess, I like to always take a breath myself because calling in directions is a lot of energy. I also always like to notice and look at all four of my directions around me to see if anything is showing itself to me, if any of my guides presenting itself to me, or if there's any part of my energetic field that I feel is not completely correct. So right now I would just take a couple minutes to see if there's anything that you need to acknowledge right now before you move on to specifically connecting to the moon. Okay, everybody let me know when they're ready for the next part to move on and connect directly to the moon itself. You can give me a thumbs up or say something in the chat. It's up to you. Okay. I would recommend that everybody now try to drop back in again, get settled, whatever you call it, because now we're going to call down tethering to the moon specifically herself. While you're doing so, really very intentionally focus on that energy you're feeling. Focus on the Virgo energy itself. Whichever one of the words that it connects to you most with Virgo, I would pick one or two words to focus on while you're intentionally trying to call her down. Mother Moon, I call to you. Tonight your energy is new. Under this new, give me your power this faithful night. I invoke you into my being and my soul. Fill up my vessel and make me whole. I heal and cleanse myself. The new moon, my spirit is renewed. Under your silvery light, I stand before you in awe and in love. I cherish the gifts sent from you above. I welcome growth. I welcome transformation. I am restored by the sacred cosmic vibration. I am divinely protected. I relinquish the weight of that which no longer serves me. My spirit is aware and awake, and my path is revealed. I am open to receive tonight. I let go of all that which is blocking, and I invite abundance into my life. I welcome transformation. I welcome growth. I welcome abundance. I know what I need and I am ready for it, and I am willing and able to receive it. Under the darkness of this new moon, I allow myself to be reborn and my intentions to completely take root. I believe in my being, my vision, and my worth. I set my focus now on my intentions, and I honor the nurturing process as I let go and allow the abundant, creative energy to flow through me. I own my magic, and it will guide me through this lunar cycle. Now, everybody take a minute to sit with that, hear whatever message is being brought to you, whatever the moon is connecting to you, whatever Virgo is saying to you. Is there anything possibly pulling to you from your shadow self? Is your inner child possibly reaching to tell you about any of your personal habits? Is Persephone trying to reach to you? Is the concept of duality trying to reach to you? Is there a big project or goal that you've been sitting on that's trying to reach to you? Just sit in that, and I will let you guys sit in silence for a few minutes while you fully connect to all the energy that's been brought into you. Okay. Before I start closing the container and thanking all the gatekeepers and guardians for being here, is there anybody that wants to or feels the need to say anything about the Virgo energy that's attaching to them, or the new moon energy that's attaching to them? Now is the time to be able to do so in this space and then in this specific container. Okay, I will close the container now. It's going to be a very nice and easy, simple closing, simply for the fact that I'm taking this energy with me to my own thing right after this. So, thank you, new moon. I thank you for the energy you've provided. I thank you for coming down and meeting us face to face. Thank you for speaking on any manifestations that are presenting itself to us. And I thank you for providing the productive, caring, dedicated energy of Virgo. Thank you for allowing us to look in and figure out how we can serve ourselves better through self-care and how we can serve others to our highest fulfillment. I call back the guardians of the South. I call back the guardians of the North. I call back the guardians of the West. I call back the guardians of the East. I thank each and every gatekeeper and guide that came to provide the energy and container and to submit any message or energy to those who needed to receive. I release, I let go. So mote it be. Amen. Aho. Okay, guys. Ooh, I hope that everybody got to feel a lot of that. And I hope that it was helpful. Does anybody have any input, any questions, anything at all that you would like to put now? Anything that I forgot and said I would talk about that I didn't? Ooh, okay.
Will
Sorry.
you be doing this on a regular basis?
Yes, as far as I'm aware with between me and Alex, yes, we have decided that I will be doing this on a regular basis.
Oh, thank you.
That
Yeah.
was beautiful.
The invocation was just beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
I definitely got the wrong candle for that, but that's on me. And I realized it like as we were wrapping up. I was like, I should have gotten my deity that works with relationships with me's candle out, but that's okay.
To be fair though, I don't think I put a candle thing in the study guide for this one, so I'll do it next time to make sure.
Well, I just grabbed my normal meditation candle, but I realized that Virgo is very relationship heavy, and I should have grabbed the guide that works with me with my relationships candle and allowed him to guide me instead of my normal meditation one.
Very, very relationship heavy, very sexual energy heavy, yes, very, very much so.
But I know for the next time I do a Virgo study guide not study guide, relaxation, to grab that one.
I'm glad you did get that tidbit from it though.
Is there a reason why we're not doing like tomorrow night on the actual full moon, new moon?
The new moon is tonight, at least
New
where
moon's
I am.
tonight. So where I'm at, it's peaking tonight. It started last night for me.
If you get the app not new moon, good gravy, moon phase calendar, it's literally just, oh, you can't see it because of my background. It's literally just a moon. That's what it looks like. It'll give you it'll put a little push notification on the top of your phone for the exact percentage of the moon, and it'll direct you every time there's a full moon, first quarter, last quarter, and new moon. So like the first quarter is going to be on the 22nd, and that's a Sagittarius first quarter. And it'll give you all that information. I could just wait. I just realized I could just turn off that background and show you.
Any other questions or anything else that anybody wants to add before I log us off?
So there's there's that app.
Yep.
Right next to my
That's the
horoscope
exact
app.
same one I have too.
It's right next to my horoscope app.
Where did you get the background with the moon there, Robin?
So I downloaded it off the internet, and then you can, instead of choosing one of those virtual backgrounds, there's a little plus right next to avatars beta, and it lets you choose any picture you've downloaded.
Thanks.
Facebook calling lets you do the exact same thing the exact same way.
Okay, well, if nobody has anything else, I am gonna say that we are gonna close it for tonight. I look forward to doing the Maven one, which is coming up soon as well, because I'm doing that one. And then we have Aries coming up after this for the next full moon.
We understand.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm glad people like it. Like I said, my stuff is really unique. It's all over the place. I learned it all on my own, and
Directions that your previous
Yeah.
version.
very ceremonial.
It was
Interesting.
absolutely beautiful.
Melissa's full moon or new moon calendar also shows that it's tomorrow for them.
Weird.
I
Okay.
wonder if it's based off of your area. Because, like you can't see the what do you call it? Everyone can't see when like the sun covers the moon. I can't
The eclipse.
the eclipse, yeah. So like the last eclipse that we just had that everyone was excited about, I couldn't see it. But if I drove 2 hours south, I could have seen it just fine. So I wonder if the Earth's
That
position-
would make sense because Andrea is in Canada, right? So it might be that it depends on where you are. They might be one day apart
Yeah,
from each
it
other.
works that way. Like if you're down in the southern hemisphere, it's usually a day afterwards. And I look up on the computer under the date and time under Google of the rise of the set of the new moon or full moon, and that's when I get the times when I for the full moon I put out my water at that time of the rising, and I gather it in early in the morning.
Yeah.
Next ones too, I'll double and triple check because I think everybody else is in a different time zone than me. So I'll double and triple check and just make sure that I've got it on, like, try to get it on the peak day as often as I can.
Oh,
Because
that's
I
great.
do a lot of things because I mean I stay at home with my son and then I work overnight and I do political activism and I've got my apprenticeship. So I do a lot, but I will try my best to make sure it's on the peak for majority of more people.
Yeah, it looks like the peak for the full moon for me is the 29th, because it's 99% on the 28th and then 97 on the 30th.
I think that's the date I have it right now. I think is the 29th.
You are absolutely spot on for the new moon for me. I'm at 0.0% right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm at. Because I was at 2% last night, and I'll be at 1% waxing tomorrow. So.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody so much. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I will be here for the next one. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a
You
good
too.
night.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Bye-bye.
Because it still sounds like you're gonna give